Hey, I'm Educator Barnes and welcome back. It is time for another book talk. The book I'm going to talk about today is The Undefeated by Kwame Alexander. And let me tell you a little bit about the author. A few weeks ago, I was in Orlando, Florida at the Learning Sciences International Building Expertise Educator Conference. And the closing keynote speaker was Kwame Alexander. And first of all, brother was on fire. The way he talked about his perseverance, his career, and he talked about this book and he read it to us. And this book is a banned book in some places. And if you have been following me long enough, you know one of my things I love to say is can the ban. The more you ban books, the more people want to read them. And this book, the pictures in the book, the illustrator is Kadir Nelson, and they are just fabulous. So it was great to hear Kwame Alexander talk about his book, talk about how he read this book to students and how it's really impacting them, the message of this book. And at the end of the book, I want to point out that he wrote an afterword. And I'm going to read one little snippet from the afterword. It's a quote he included from my interlude. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. It may even be necessary to encounter the defeat so that we can know who we are, so that we can see, oh, that happened, and I rose. I did get knocked down flat in front of the whole world, and I rose. So that quote was explained by Kwame Alexander, and that tied into the title of the book. The other part of the book I really loved is the index of the book. He mentions several key Black people who are and have exuded Black excellence. But in the back of the book, there's a section called historic figures, and it goes over all the historic figures that were included in the book. So just in case a kid is reading this book, they can look in the back and see who some of these people are on the front of the book and who some of the people are in the back of the book. You probably notice on the front of the book that this is it has the Caldecott Medal, and it also is a Newbery Honor book. When I heard Kwame Alexander read this book to a huge conference room full of educators internally, I was moved. And the first thought that popped into my head when he finished is, where were these books when I was a kid? I did not get my book signed because I didn't buy my book until I came back home, because I'd already left the Institute with 6 books. And I have 9 bookcases in my house already. And now I'm turning books again sideways. There's a few spaces on this particular bookshelf. So I had a debate, but then when I got home, I'm like, I gotta have this book. And most importantly, I wanted this book for my sons. I'm raising Black sons, identical twins who are entering middle school next year. And even though this is considered a children's book, I think this book is good for everyone. I actually asked my husband to read the book, and he said that was a good book. So whether you're a grown-up, whether you're a kid, this book reminds you that regardless of what happens in your life, you can rise up and you can remain undefeated by the things that try to defeat you. So check out this book. Wonderful illustrations, wonderful words. And the last thing I'll say about Kwame Alexander, that man, not only can he write, but he can recite. Because some people can just write words, but then when you hear them say the words that they wrote, it's just kind of monotone and dry. So if you ever see this brother on a conference or a panel, go ahead and listen to him, because I'm pretty sure he'll probably quote something. He just said poems off the tip of his tongue, and it was here, memorized. So I loved it. So and he has other books too. So follow him and check out The Undefeated.